Hello everyone, back to you in today's second video. So we've already had a look at the prospects of a wet Wednesday tomorrow. You can find videos to that here on the homepage. Just scroll down the page a bit, it's underneath the link ads. So we could be seeing anything up to 25mm, maybe more, across a specific part of the country, which is sort of central southern England up through the Midlands in towards the Humber region. And those areas will be wettest through the course of tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening, where the rain could turn really very heavy and then trundling its way eastwards overnight. I'll let you have a look at that video to find out more. This video is going to be having a look at the weather for the next week to 10 days. Also have a look at the CFS V2 for the next month. But we start off with central England temperature from Hadley. So we currently stand at 11.5, which is an anomaly of nearly 1 degree above average. That is provisional to yesterday, to the 15th. So very similar to April, really, in that April came out with a central temperature of 8.9, anomaly of 1 degree above average. We're around that sort of anomaly for May as well, and this is quite a bit cooler than what we had during February and March. So what's happened is that well, in January the CET was generally running about average. In February and March we went to around 2 to 3 degrees above average. In April and May we've gone to around 1 degree above average, so lost around a degree off the anomaly, maybe a bit more, but we're still running a little bit above average. However, that might tick down over the coming week or so, because we are going to pull in some quite cool winds from the north. So this is the GFS temperature and precipitation ensemble chart for the next 2 weeks. The red line here is a 30-year temperature average. So right now we are significantly milder than average. We're in a big warm sector of air, but we've got a deluge coming up tomorrow. That's indicated by this rainfall spike just in. Once that's out of the way, then the temperatures are cooling down. After that, it looks like we're sticking very close to the long-term seasonal average as we're going through to the second half of May, last stage of May. This is the first day of June, just starting to appear here on the very edge of the ensemble. So starting warm, turning cool, and then about normal with the temperatures, I would have thought, early next week. But we will be bringing down some fairly cool air. Remember, these are upper air temperatures, so they don't take everything, especially at this time of the year. With northerly winds in sort of May, June, what's going to happen is that you'll get still relatively warm days because of the strength of the sun, the power of the sun, but you'll tend to still get quite cold nights. That can actually pull down the overall temperature, and the temperature anomaly is coming out a little bit cooler than average for the next week. So this is from the 16th through to 24th of May, a little bit cooler than average there for the British Isles of the UK and west of Europe as well. But in central and northern parts of Europe but milder than average, with those cold temperature anomalies that we had earlier in the month. They're forced back now into Russia. The precipitation anomaly looks like that, so it is looking wetter than average across many parts of the UK for the next week. Again, this is going from the 16th to the 24th of May, coming out wetter than average. We are going to have an unsettled week ahead. Here's the GFS for Saturday then. We've got a trough of low pressure within the 500 millibar flow sitting over the top of the UK. That looks very showery indeed. That trough stays with us into sunny, so I think we are going to have a lot of showers coming up this weekend. And then into next week, we keep that trough close by through the early part of next week, so no great change. Showers, if not longer spells of rain over the weekend and into next week too. Quite a bit of blocking still there across Greenland and Iceland, you'll notice. Into the middle part of next week, that low pressure is starting to move away to the east, and that turns the winds into the north. Again, we've got quite a big blocking feature here around Greenland and extending down into the central Atlantic. That's turning winds into the north. We're probably losing the shower risk through the middle part of next week, but it does look quite cool. Excuse me, and there would still be showers left over in the north and east. That is actually how we finish up on day 10. Still with northerly winds, so the flow is still quite cool, particularly evident at night, I would have thought. We've got the ridge in the Atlantic going up towards Greenland. Got low pressure out to the south and west of us, and actually that's running a little bit to the south. So if you watch the bank holiday update last night, you'll know that was a very cold, very wet bank holiday weekend that was indicating, and that bank holiday weekend is just beyond this period. This is Friday 26th of May, and the bank holiday weekend is Saturday, Sunday and Monday after this Friday. So for this very latest update of the GFS, I can tell you that these areas of low pressure are being taken down more towards France, the Bay of Biscay, and northern parts of Spain and Portugal, which leaves us, yes, we are cool, we are bringing down those northerly winds, but it does leave us on the drier side of the trough. So swings and roundabouts really not as wet on this particular run for the bank holiday weekend, but quite cool. ECMWF looks like that for Saturday. Low pressure's over the top of the country, so it looks unsettled, it looks cool and showery. We keep it cool and showery into the early part of next week as well. We try and build a little bit of a ridge there to the east, but actually what the ECMWF is doing is bringing in another area of low pressure. So this brings more general, persistent and heavy rain in from the Atlantic from Monday in towards Tuesday as well. And then we go through to the middle part of next week, and low pressure is there to the northeast of Scotland again. We're bringing down those northwest winds, so it's quite cool. It's unsettled with showers or longer spells of rain. And we keep this showery weather going then through to the end of next week. Again, there's the high pressure setting up over Iceland and Greenland, quite a blocking feature up there. Low pressure is in the Atlantic. And if we could run on another day or two, I suspect that low pressure would probably run in something like that and possibly spoil the bank holiday weekend. It looks showery next week, and it looks like it's quite cool as well. Let's just have a look at the CFS V2 for the next month. Now, I think the CFS has gone off on a bit of a tangent today, because the charts look rather strange. This is from the 16th through to the 22nd of May. So for the week that we're just starting, 500 millibar heights. And it's trying to build a ridge up over Scandinavia. It's also got this ridge out to the southwest, a bit out to the west and to the southwest of us. Low pressure is probably going through in that sort of direction. But this looks nothing at all like what we've just been looking at for the coming week. And I think the pattern is generally quite well defined for the next week, which is showery with a trough of low pressure over top of the country. So quite where the CFS is getting this big Scandinavian high from, and bringing winds in from the east. I'm not sure whether the model has been affected at all by what happened at the end of last week in terms of the attack on computer systems. I'm not sure, but it does look rather strange that for the week ahead. It isn't like anything that we've seen in terms of the ECMWF and the GFS for the next week. Week 2, which is the 23rd, 29th of May, shows that the area of above average heights goes towards the north and west of the country, which is bringing in cool northerly, northeasterly winds. So that one looks like we're ending May on quite a dry and cool note. Low pressure is going to the south of us through there. So the jet stream is running through there, and we're bringing in these cold northeasterly winds. Then we go through to the start of June. This is the 500 millibar height anomaly from the 30th of May to the 5th of June, and we find above average height centered almost over the top of the country, still a little bit on the cool side of that. Bring wind direction in from that sort of direction. And then we finish up back where we start from the 6th to the 12th of June, building a ridge up over Scandinavia. This could be starting to bring up some really very warm air from the east or the southeast around that ridge of high pressures we're running into June. If the CFS hasn't gone off on a tangent, I think it might have done, but if it hasn't, then it does imply that this unsettled weather is probably going to be fairly short-lived. It's not going to take us long to get ourselves back into high pressure. So very interesting to see where things go as we run up towards the final week or so of June, May, and then going into the start of June Will we find this area of above average heights returning, high pressure coming back, breaking us out of the unsettled conditions quite quickly? I suspect the CFS is a little bit on a tangent, because that week 1 anomaly did look rather strange compared to what we've just been looking at with the GFS and the ECM WF, the shorter range models. But let's wait and see. You never want to prejudge anything. It's possible, especially with the way we've had a prolonged run of dry weather over several months, it is possible that these unsettled conditions will be more short-lived than the short-range models are indicating today, and that will quite quickly get ourselves back to high pressure by the end of the month. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Right, that's all for now. Don't forget to check out the latest on Wet Wednesday. That's all for now. Tonight's 5-day forecast, and we'll also have other videos as well, so come back for that tomorrow. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.